Happy Tuesday. Here we are. Game Devon. Last week before GDC. Sorry, I didn't end up streaming on Saturday. I ended up meeting a friend. Or meeting with a friend. I didn't make a new friend. That would be unusual for me. But no, I went and got brunch, so it interfered with my Saturday streaming plans. So, sorry if I keep saying I'm going to stream and then not doing it. That's on me. I should either stream more consistently or stop saying when I'm going to stream. But no, seriously, I need to be a bit more consistent, better. And of course, I say this a week before GDC, which is when I'm going to miss a whole week of streaming because, GDC, Game Developers Conference, is next week. So, fun things. I'm gonna actually run this here. Maybe I don't want to listen to classical music. There we go. So last week we were trying to sort out how to have like a boundary that was elastic that went in and out. So like you see these dotted line around the block. So we build this out, dotted line gets bigger. So this works now. So now we're keeping track of the actual used area. We're not doing anything with this yet, but it's going to be quite helpful because we now know the area being used. So we can either rebase the whole thing, which means moving 0, 0 from like the theoretical minimum, which is like up here somewhere. Here. So we can rebase it here where the actual minimum is and then not have to operate on the entire buildable area. Like right now we're like flood filling the buildable area and stuff where we should be just checking the actual area we're using. So we have this now, so I can expand this and it widens. I can erase this and it shrinks. All good stuff. It works on multiple levels too. So it has to be uniform for all the levels, so whatever the furthest. So, it's not different boundaries per level. It's like all of them. Because at a certain point we want to convert this to a we want to convert it to a array. So we want the boundaries to be consistent. So we can just compress it really easily. But that's what we did. So I actually need to move this. So this is the old way we expanded, which was wrong. I need to move this up here. Gotta be this. Like this. Can I add this back again? Okay. So that's it. We ended up doing the simplest thing possible. We were trying to do these complex things where we were like keeping track of... We do need to assign this back though. We were like trying to keep track of it on the tool level. So like as we were like using our tool to increase or decrease the to like build stuff, we were like trying to keep track of it there. That ended up being not a good way to do it. The easiest thing to do it was to just... We're already iterating through every block in the update tilemap data entirely, so it made sense to just do this here. What we should do, honestly, is say something like this. Should say like... Do we actually use this anywhere else? Bounds, bounds, bounds. Bounds is default, bounds. Oh, we use it for the update construction grid. Oh, but we can do this. We can say something like if game.state It's not gonna work. Where do I record the game state? Oh, that's in a separate file. Still haven't figured out how to hide these UID files. We tried some stuff yesterday, it did not work. Game.state. So what we want to do is we want to say, we want to peek the state. What we want to do. We want to ask. We want to say if game.peakState is game.state.edit. So if we're in the edit state, then we'll do this. If we're not, there's no point in doing this. Similarly, oh, where did the, oh, this is the old code. Here we go. Here I can do the same thing. If game.peakState game.state.edit. We're in the editing state, then we'll do this. If not, let's just forget about it. We'll probably more thoroughly transform this process for game states, because right now we're not really handling many game states, and I don't really feel like starting on that right now. Oh, and exciting news. Ludum Dare seems to be back on. Update. This is no longer true. April is back. It says see the follow-up post. There is no follow-up post, but I'm tentatively excited about this. This is in April. This is in like early April. Hey, heart-coded, aka bro heart. You need to fix your game state logic to account for the new level select unlock screen better. The last Ludum Dare was how you started Spud Customs. Time for a new game. Nice. That's fun. The one in October, I didn't do that one. I was not able to due to work issues. But I'm excited about this. We need to not do what we did last time, which sounds like kind of what you did, but even you went even more hardcore with it. Because like last time I did my Ludum Dare jam, we worked on it for like 2 months or maybe even longer. The jam was in what, April? We like stopped working on a following wind in like June or July. It was like we spent like 2 months working on the post jam version of this game, which I still haven't finished and put on itch, which I've set myself a personal deadline of doing it by the time of the next by doing it by the next Ludum Dare, which all I really need to do is like a balance pass and like add a few more assets like some music and stuff, and then maybe some tutorial stuff. I don't have to do a lot, and I don't have a lot of time, but I'm kind of forcing myself. I'm telling myself I'm going to do it. So I'll probably end up working on that in my free time a lot. I'm not going to do it on stream. You went crazy on it. You're content if the bugs are all fixed within 12 months of release, honestly. You got 157 reports / requests in the first few months after release. Wow, that's a lot of material to go through for sure. Did we do this here? Probably do this somewhere else. You know, I don't think we actually need to do it this way, but I'm gonna keep this here. All right, so we need to work on something else. We can either go harder on this this used area thing. So one idea I have is that we basically oh, are we actually doing this? Minus. Oh, we're making a. Huh. Where's this call coming from? Call is coming from inside the house. Used bounds is being declared like this. That can't be what we... No, we don't need to do that anymore. So you figure if all 157 bugs reports are fixed, the quality will come way up. It'll be worth running ads for. Just having going in the background from then on. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a very reasonable choice. I re-implemented my blocker that prevented badly formed AABBs, and it turned out I was making one. So we have our get used boundary check thing here, which is working great. And I kind of, instead of just having this, I kind of want to rebase the thing every time, basically. Like, I basically want to be rewriting this to 0, 0. We don't need to reallocate until the end, because that would be very wasteful. But like, I'm tempted to, I don't know. I actually guess I don't need to do this right now. I want to make it so that, because there's basically a finite buildable area in this game. It's like the largest size I've decided to support. Very strange what this is doing right here. How is this allowed? This is like the maximum buildable area. And right now we're doing a lot of stuff on this maximum buildable area, and it's very wasteful. It's like huge. It's like 64 by 64 by 8. And I want to start constraining things more by the actual volume that we're using. And so if I build off center, if I build just some, let's see if I'm near the edge. So here I'm near the edge. If I'm near the edge and I want to expand this way, I can't. But I can expand this way. So I kind of want to rebase the thing so that this is like always in the middle or whatever. So that if you expand out in one direction, the game allows you to do it. I don't know. This can't be an important thing to work on. What I probably should start working on is select move instead, so that if I end up getting up against the edge, I can just move the whole thing over a little bit and then keep building. That's probably what I should be working on if I wanted to actually do something productive. Because this is already a nice little visual indicator. What I should do is hook up the things like the flood fill and stuff to operate on this smaller subset. That I could do, and that would be quite good. So yeah, I want to use, now that we have this used boundary, I want to use it for stuff. I want to actually get some value out of it, but I don't know. Hard-coded. You thought it would be just the size of the screen. Your ships are going to be huge. I recently unlocked it. I recently unlocked the build area so that it could be huge. Because, yeah, up until recently, I also thought that the ships would be just the size of the screen. But that's, like, really limiting, because then it's, like... I don't remember what this is, but I think this is like 16 maybe or something like that. Like you give yourself like a 16 by 16 by like 4 or something. You give yourself some small space to work in like this. This is like not enough space. So I figured that we already have the problem of like you can't see everything going on because of all these vertical decks. I figured that since we already have that problem, it probably isn't a huge issue if we also... How was that so quick? Oh, let's see. It probably isn't a huge issue if we also have like horizontal movement. If we also introduce that, since we have this vertical issue of sight lines, and you're gonna need to scroll through the ship to see stuff, we might as well like increase the size, you know, allow for things like way out here, just a way bigger footprint. Hey Nano, I'm Dave, aka Digital Iliad. We're working on this tilemap editor for an FTL-like game. FTL faster than light. We have this isometric tilemap editor thing. We're just playing with the tool. So yeah, the ships can be huge. They have the capacity to be quite large, which we'll deal with the usability of that later. But yeah, I think this was just too little. There's like not enough space here. To do what I wanted to do. So yeah, we've kind of unlocked it. Yeah, we're trying to make kind of an isometric 3D kind of take on FTL faster than light. But how are you? NanoRasmus, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm getting blown up on my phone. How are you doing? What kind of stuff are you working on? Okay, here you go. You're hopping around the game dev side of Twitch with a few riddles. I'm terrible with riddles, gonna be honest. Anytime like my group's like Dungeon Master and D&D would give us like an elementary school riddle, we'd just be like, I know that's like the cliche is that like adults playing a role-playing game or can't do like elementary school riddles. And it's true. It's very true. And that was us. So that's fun. I mean, I'm saying I'm terrible at it. I'm happy to hear the riddle. I'm just trying to set expectations for when I'm... All right. So of the 3 things that we need to work on, which is undo, redo, save, load, and select move, I least want to work on undo, redo, and save, load right now, but they're probably the easiest one to do. The hardest one would probably be select move. That's kind of the one I'm interested in. Oh, you made them yourself. Okay, so these are Nano's riddles that they made themselves. Let's see what we got going on here. First riddle. You exist in fiction, though some think you real. Some even believe you're captured on reel. Okay, like a film reel. You have brothers from icy mountains to forest paths, though you're mostly known for what's below your calves. What are you? Huh. Okay. You're Bigfoot. That's good. That's fun. Yeah, sure. That's fine. I really don't want to do work today anyway. I'm like really tired. I know everyone's really tired because anyone who's like in the daylight savings time kind of part of the world here. Hard coded. I'm also terrible at riddles, I'm telling you. God. All right, so if we want to do select move, we need to support, instead of supporting a block tool, which is just like an individual block, we need to support, like right now, active block tool is literally just a block. Active block tool is going to need to be like an array. And the thing is, if we want to move something, that's not just placing things down. That's not just merging or erasing. It's like migrating. All right. All right. Nano's got another one for us. One stumped so many people, but is obvious in retrospect. Those are the worst kinds. Those are the kind of riddles that make you just feel like an idiot. All right, hit me. So your riddle is, you are mistaken for food, so you are far from. Your arrow was crude, but you get the job done. You're found in shapes as well as waves. The way to the modern world you paved. What are you? Okay. So mistaken for food. It's like ancient. Whatever technology this is like ancient. You can find it in shapes as well as waves. The way to the modern world you paved. What are you? Trying to solve a riddle live on stream is embarrassing. It's like trying to solve a programming problem that you realize is like too meaty. Let's see. There's a lot of different information here. Yeah, that's why you're specifically going around the game dev side of Twitch. It's good, it's good. And riddle crafting is like a kind of game. You're quite good at it. This is tough. I want to say something like wheel, but I know that's wrong. Or I feel like that's wrong. I'm struggling to come up with another example. Or another solution. People don't confuse wheels for food, though. I guess it depends on what you consider the thing that paves the way to the modern world. Yeah, I don't know. You stumped me with this one. I'm interested to hear what it is. I'm sure it's quite obvious in retrospect. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a quick, you know, instead of our main thing, I want to finish this deprecation, since this is gonna matter. Yeah, I give up. I can't think of anything good for that one. That one's tough. I told you I'm not good at these. Pi. Oh, that's so good. That's awesome. That's really good. Like pi, like the concept, like the mathematical concept of pi. You're found in shapes as well as waves. Yeah, I was hung up on something that's physical. I wasn't thinking of ideas. That's awesome. That's really great. That's a good one. You're quite good at this. Sometimes a riddle feels unfair. Like Bilbo's riddle of like, what do I have in my pocket? It's like, what the kind of riddle is that? All right, so we should place new active blocks instead, just like we reveal inactive blocks. Okay, so we're to reveal inactive blocks. So we get the span. We pass in a boundaries and an active buffer, or an active boundary. So we have the, I don't know what this is. Bounds. Is that prior bounds? What do we pass in here? Prior bounds, okay. Calling this bounds and calling this active is not great. All right, so we get the span. We go through each coordinate in the non-overlapping. And if we don't have a block to reveal, we just continue. Otherwise, we place this here. And we remove these. Oh, okay, so that's fine. So we're just trying to replace reveal block at. Okay. Oh, do we already have a place? I just don't want, I want instrumental music. Pretzel, you told me this was going to be instrumental music. Thank you for the follow, Nano. Really appreciate that. I've enjoyed these riddles. All right. Deprecate in favor of erase blocks in. Where am I using this? Okay, so we have erase blocks at and place block at. Hard-coded, gifting the sub. Blasting Nano with the 1 month tier 1 gifted sub. Thank you, Hard-coded. Really appreciate that. You're too kind. All right, so we want to replace the usages of this.
Logic was impeccable, Captain.
All right, so what we're doing is we're saying if we're just doing an if else of block eraser mode. We're saying erase block at, replace block at, erase block at, or place block at. So we want to replace all of the, okay, no, so this is different. Oh, these ones are fine. So it's this one that we want to replace. So instead of erase blocks in, we should place new active blocks instead, just like we reveal inactive blocks. I don't have a function for this. I left myself a to-do here. I don't totally understand. I mean, I get kind of what I want to do here. Oh, try to understand what I wanted myself to do here. Reveal blocks in. Bounds, block buffer. Reach coordinate in bounds. We don't need to do it this way, though. That's good to know. Thanks, Nano. Yeah, that was good. I is very clever. I'll say it again. That's very cleverly written. I'm just not much of like a crosswords kind of person or a puzzle kind of person. I mean, I like programming. But that's a little different as far as like problem solving. Is merge like not the right? Maybe merge is the right choice. Maybe we can just use merge block. Trying to understand why I don't like this. Place new active blocks. Oh, I think I understand what I want to do. I want to only process the area that... Oh, okay. I think I understand. I think I understand what past me wanted me to do. You want something like this. Private void, place, new active. I can type. I need to come up with a better term than bounds versus active. Oh, excuse me. So sorry. So tired. Much yawn. Just a chill guy, 81. Hi, what is your area of expertise? What are you good at? All right. Interesting avenue of inquiry. Welcome in. I'm a generalist. So I'm a solo dev and a generalist. So I do all of it. I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at any of it. Like, this is my art. Like, I do pixel art. I've actually only recently picked it up. You're searching for professionals? Ah, okay. I'm a generalist. So as a solo developer, you kind of have to do everything. So like, I'm probably strongest in programming, but I also do the art and the sound and the writing and the marketing and the production, etc., etc., etc. So basically I've chosen, you know, the jack of all trades, master of none. Still better than being just a master of one. That's my approach. It doesn't work in industry, but in indie games, it works. Yeah, I program games. In Godot. We're in Godot right now. But welcome in. How's it going, chill guy? Chillin'? Alright, this is gonna basically look exactly the same, isn't it? Fan, block, span equals buffer dot read write. I don't like this. Why am I grabbing the span more than once? Oh, because it's conditional. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it or not, right? Inbounds dot get non-overlapping active. So the only real difference, instead, we're not doing this. We're placing blocks. Placing blocks, we're going to say, we don't need this encloses thing. This check is unnecessary. Wait, what? How would this even come up? Thanks for the follow. Do I use AI in your programming, such as DeepSeek? I have not used AI in my programming very much. The exception is JetBrains Writer. This has like a co-pilot sort of deal built in, and it's pretty rudimentary, but it'll be like if I start typing, if whatever, see it guesses what it thinks I want, what I want. So I can just do this and then tab to complete, and then it'll just, you know, it's basically just copying what it sees down here. So I use a kind of autocomplete, and that's about it. A fusionist. That's interesting. Just a chill guy. 81. I've read a little bit about DeepSeek. I haven't used any of the others, but that one seems interesting. I have this whole thing about wanting to understand what I'm using, which is why I kind of usually try to build very rudimentary stuff myself. Any chance I could see some of your best projects? I wish. I don't have a lot of stuff publicly available. What I do have is probably on my itch page. We were actually just talking about how I need to put the remastered version of one of my jam games up on my itch page. What even would be my itch? My itch.io/digital Iliad. Is this me? No, that's not my page. Oh, it's digitaliliad.itch.io. I have a couple of games up here. I just have the stuff that oh, you've seen the page. Okay. Yeah, I've got a remastered version of my first jam game in Godot, A Following Wind, that I want to put out, which I'm quite pleased with. I'll show you a little of that. I moved from Unity a while ago, and I'm not going back. I don't really have all of those to show you. Where are my Godot versions? Would I be interested joining a Discord with professionals? New project, you already have programmers, web developers, mechanics, software engineers, electricians. Programmers, web developers, mechanics, software engineers, electricians. Tell me more. Tell me more about what you're trying to do. Because that doesn't sound like a game. Are you building a spaceship? That's like close to my question. Fusionist. Started yesterday. You have 12 members. That's cool. What are you trying to do? Oh, you're trying to build a community. I see. It sounded like you have a specific project in mind. It's more of a, yeah, it's here. You say you have a new project. Oh, are you saying the community is the new project? Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Yeah, feel free to drop the link in the chat. All the current members except 2 are Twitch streamers. Oh, okay. Cool. Tell everyone, please link responsibly. That means links are allowed, but it's up to you. Post good links, and it's also up to you to, you know, scrutinize the links that you click on when you're here. That's one of the rules. I don't remember which rule. Probably rule number 3. Actually, it's probably rule number 1, ironically. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Oh, you don't exactly let everyone join and prefer the link doesn't stay in the chat. Yeah, okay. So here's my Discord, which everyone is invited to. Game developers, game enjoyers, whoever. We're just hanging out. Feel free to hop in that Discord and then message me. Nice. How's it going, Diginanigans? Good to see you. Okay, so I need to finish writing this. It's just a small optimization we're trying to make. So I don't understand why I have this enclosure check here. Because I send in a bounds. I think it's just a safety check because while I clamp the bounds here, but that's soft. That's just me like going out of my way to clamp the bounds before feeding them in. So it's totally possible that either myself in the future will try to call this function without clamping ahead of time. So I think it's reasonable to have that clamp check. We need to clamp it here because we save this boundary. We save it for later, so we like have to clamp it here, but like, yeah, I guess it makes sense to not want to presume that someone is going to clamp that. But I guess if they don't, that would be an error anyway, and I think it would be okay to eat the error. So in which case we just need this. Just need this part. Let's move this part over here. Okay. Thanks, Just a Chill Guy. Thanks for coming in. Saying hi. That sounds like a cool community. I'll check it out. This should be fine. Arch blocks, span index, active block tool. We need to rethink this whole active block tool thing. Because I want a system that handles this, that can handle the select move thing, and the drawing stuff. So it's almost like select move like changes your palette, whereas normally your palette would be just like a tool. But I think having a select move is like the first, like where you can box an area and move it over. That's kind of on the way to having palette like brush like tile palettes or block palettes or whatever, like compositions of blocks that are bigger than one tile that you could select and then place. All right, take it easy. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging in here for a bit and chilling. Good luck on your chills elsewhere. Because right now we can only place one block at a time. Place new active blocks. So we're gonna run this and see if this works. However, okay, so this is where we do this. So we'd say active, or no, we'd say block eraser mode. Erase block and index. We can do the erase mode check here instead of up here. So instead of this, we're going to try this. So let's place it below. So we're going to say place new active blocks, pass in bounds, we'll pass in prior bounds. Yeah, I need a better way of describing this. Let's see if we broke everything. Be a very subtle change. So yeah, right now we can only place one block. Okay, so that's not working for some reason. Are we getting an error? No error. So failure without an error. Okay. So we're doing this on continue. Oh, we want to flip this. We want to flip this. I see what we want to do here. Down here, we were doing prior bounds, get non-overlapping active bounds, current bounds. We want to flip it to be the opposite. We want to say active dot get non-overlapping bounds. That should do it. I still need a better naming convention for that. All right, does this work now? Okay, so this works now. It's a little more efficient than what we were doing before. Not like a huge deal, but enough that I had left myself a to-do. Okay. I do like this little boundary thing that's following us around. You see, we're at like the edge. This is why we need the select move. If I decide like, oh, I need a little more room here, we need to be able to grab this and move it over. Or the other thing we need would for that specific problem would be like if we were doing what I said before, where we rebase it. So instead of 0, 0 being like up here, wherever the buildable maximum or minimum is here, which is weird that the grid thing fails when we're at 0, 0. I should look into why that's happening. We basically make 0, 0 this, and we make this the maximum. So we make this minimum maximum instead of using the maximum buildable area, we're using the actual used area. That could speed up a ton of stuff. We also, when we're done building and we save this out, you know, whatever it is, we want to save out the actual used area. We don't want to save out this huge empty space. So keeping track of the actual used area is quite nice for us. Appreciate everyone hanging out for what's a really chill dev stream here. I know we lost like all of our momentum last week when I basically didn't stream. I feel bad about it, but we're gonna lose all our momentum, our streaming momentum next week when I'm at GDC all week. It's not the end of the world, but after that, I need to be like consistent. Streaming does not allow for big breaks like that. Big random breaks of like a week. You know, you can miss a day here or there, but I gotta be really careful about missing longer periods of time. All right, so this is still being used. We're still using these individual calls. Inefficient because I should just pull the span at the top and just use it. Yeah, when I'm doing this, when I'm getting the buffer, I should also just pull out the span because I'm pulling the span out like multiple times from the buffer, and it's like there is a cost. It's not free. but whatever. Okay, so we can say this is done. We did that with no... Did I actually make sure that the erase tool worked? I think I did, but I'm going to double check it one more time here. Shenanigans, would it work just leaving a buffer at the edge of the bounds while in edit mode, then just trim it when it saves? Yes, it would. But the thing is, like, I want it to be dynamic. I want it to move, basically. Like right now, I kind of built in the middle, but like, what if I built on the edge and then I was like, oh, I need more room? It would be cool if it would take capacity from this side and add it to this side. So it would be cool if we were rebasing the buffer around whatever our actual construction was. Song is so loud. I'm sorry about that. We're amidst the swell. Shenanigans, like instead of clamping directly to where your blocks are, make the bounds 5-ish cells wider or longer. I mean, it would make it less likely that we needed to like reallocate and stuff. But no, I don't plan on like actually reallocating the buffer during edit time. The most I would do is I would move things within it. And so the question is, and so honestly, having this select and move tool is going to provide us this, the way we can do that. So we could actually have the system say, okay, you're at the edge of the buffer on one side, but you're trying to build on that side. Can we move the buffer a little bit to get you some additional room on that side? Can we just move your, well, not move the buffer, but move your construction in the buffer to buy you some additional space? Fusionist, it's that serious? I don't know what you're referring to, unfortunately. That's the problem about when I'm speaking so scatterbrain-wise. Scatterbrain-wise? That's not even a thing. When I'm so scatterbrained... You're talking about my losing my momentum for a week, probably. It's not that serious. It feels significant, both from like a personal standpoint and from like a habitual audience standpoint. It's definitely, I don't think it matters as much on Twitch. I mean, obviously I'm a teensy tiny streamer, and so it doesn't really matter either way. But like, I noticed it on YouTube. I went from getting like a couple hundred views like a video to like 20 because I just took a week off, which again is small, and for like anyone bigger would be like not noticeable. But for me, it's like the difference between getting like any subscribers or like none. So I'm just noticing, I'm trying to notice trends. I'm trying to notice the consequences of my actions as I try to build this community in this channel and develop this project. You can understand it in productive terms, but you were mentioning audience size and you just don't know how that works. Yeah, I don't know how it works either. That's why I'm learning. I mean, I already knew that taking a break is like very bad in terms of the algorithm, and like, except when it's good. And it's only, I think it's only good taking a break when you're like already huge. It seems to be more effective on or have a much larger an outsized effect on YouTube, where I think they really favor you if you're putting out a video like every day. They'll put you in front of more and more people. Whereas if you're only putting out a video every once in a while, I don't think they do it. At least for live streams, I don't think they're as likely to put you on people's home pages. So I just need to be mindful of that. I mean, taking a day off is important, but for various reasons, I basically had to take like a week off, and I think I need to try to minimize that in the future. I think a total disruption, like it's one thing to trim a day off on like either end of my streaming schedule, but I think I think taking a week off is a lot. But like, yeah, I think it's fine if I miss a Tuesday or a Saturday or whatever. I just want to be mindful of that going forward. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. I mean, I shouldn't be that worried about it because all the regulars show up either way. Like, I appreciate all y'all. Fusionist, Rhiannon Journey, Diginanigans. Hard-coded, obviously. How's it going, Rhiannon? All right, so that little tiny refactor worked. Let's focus on just select. So how do we do this? So we basically have place. So we have command arg.place. This is a place command. This is like right click. And then that has multiple phases. It has begin, continue, and end. Probably have called this start or something like that, but so it has these 3 phases that you treat differently. Select will probably be similar, where we have command.arg.select, and we'll probably have like sample, and then like, I don't know. And then I guess we have the same kind of begin, continue, end, or select. I don't know. I guess the select is the left mouse down. Oh, what you do is I think you click or click drag to do the select. And then once you let go of the select, now you're back into hover. Or if you right click, you're in place. So once you've made your selection, you can hover it around and it'll just follow you around, because we're trying to replace the active block tool here with a sample, with like an array that's the sample that you're selecting. Rhiannon, meh, the last week or two has been a little rough. You're doing okay. What are you working on today? Today we're kind of working on, we just got a used bounds thing, which is like we can keep track of like how big the area that we're actually using is, which I think is a little snazzy. We're going to use that for some stuff later. And then right now we're working on like a select. So like if I saw this box and I wanted to move this box over here, instead of having to redraw it, I want to be able to just left click, drag, and then let go of that. And now I can mouse around with it. It'll follow my mouse around. And I want to start working on that, because there's three big things left in the tilemap editor before I consider it like good enough for now. And it's undo, redo. So undoing and redoing placements and stuff. Save, load. Obviously, we need to be able to save and load things. And the third one is this, which is like select move, which is like, can you select? If I make a room and I've like decided that the room is not exactly in the place that I want, do I have to redraw it, or can I just pick it up and move it slightly? In the same way that I'm just moving around, in the same way that I selected this, I'm selecting something in the palette here. Can I similarly select something that's actually constructed and move it around the same way? That's kind of what we want to work on. Will the smaller bounds help the flood fill run faster? That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it'll do a lot of stuff for us. Flood fill should run faster. There's a bunch of other stuff right now that's banked to, or that's based on the maximum build area instead of the actual used build area. So yeah, I think you're right. It's going to help a lot of things in terms of performance. And when we save, we want to save out that smaller used area anyway, so it'll be nice to just have that on hand. Diginanigan says, yeah, sucks the way the YouTube algo works. Taking a break when you need it and your health absolutely matters more though. No, I agree. And I think we're fine. Like, I'm really glad this is a long project I'm working on, because it's fine if we take, you know, years to build up our audience, because it's literally going to be years to build up this audience. And that's okay, because the game is going to take years. And, you know, as the game gets more developed and gets more interesting to watch, more people will come in and watch. And I think the two things are going to grow really nicely together, like the game and the audience for the streams. I'm hoping we get that kind of synergy. Fusionist, this specific stream time is pretty much only going to work for work from home people and the non-American world. Oh yeah, that's always true, Fusionist. I mean, Maybe someday in the glorious future, I like have less day job requirements and I can expand the stream time in one direction. Because yeah, I definitely get a boost. I notice it when I'm doing a long stream, like until like 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll get that boost of like people getting off work on the East Coast at least, and I see a boost for sure. So yeah, if I could find a time, or if I could stretch one direction of this stream, probably towards the afternoon or evening, I think I'd probably get some more people. But yeah, I'm definitely limited in my audience based on the stream time. Hey, Matthew Sparks, how's it going? I don't know why I worry so much. People seem to be finding their way back in here, even when I take a break. Again, I've got a song here that's... I swear I selected the like instrumental only. All right, so select move. So I guess it could have the same arguments as this. It could have begin, continue, and end. I need to do it a little differently. Actually, I don't know if I need to do it that differently. So case command.arg.select. We need to only run this. Let's go back to the Godot side and see how we're setting this up. So let's go to the input handler. I don't know if I ever actually answered your question, Matthew Sparks. It's going okay. We're 1 week before GDC, which I am fortunate enough to live in San Francisco, so I can just go to that. So the Game Developers Conference is next week. That's exciting. So we're doing kind of one week of working on this here before. Luckily, I'm not trying to prepare anything, so it's pretty chill for me. In years past, I've tried to like really prepare something to bring and show off. I don't care this time around. Gonna be more for like socializing, like networking and hearing some talks and stuff. And that's cool. We're gonna do that, and then in a few weeks after that, it's Ludum Dare, which is probably the one big game jam we do every year. I'm excited to see that. To do that, I'm gonna do that again, the 48-hour version probably, the solo, the compo they call it, where it's like you have 48 hours to make a game from scratch by yourself. I want to do that again, so we're gonna do that in early April. That's exciting. So I think we've got some fun stuff on the on our plate here. But right now we're just kind of chilling. Okay, so here, function, begin interaction, continue interaction, end interaction. So so to me, right click is an action and left click is like select. So we can say something like, we can have like, func begin selection for match game.state as string, edit game.enqueue input. So here we'll say edit, we'll say tool. Oh, I was like, why is this not working? Tool select, then coords, and then begin. Matthew, being able to participate in something crazy like a 48-hour game jam is one of the most enticing reasons for you personally to get into game dev. Where are you ever to do that? Seems like such a blast. It's cool. It's stressful. I was very pleased with my last jam I did, which was the solo dev jam number 4, where we made a mini delivery. I was very pleased with that. I had 72 hours to do that one. And thanks to the rules of that jam, I did not have to make any of the art. I didn't have to do any of the content, so we were able to source all of our art and sound effects and stuff. And all I had to do was focus on the game, the mechanics, and setting all that up. That was awesome. And it's good that we had it set up that way because, you know, we made a 3D game. It's tough. This is going to be more likely like a really tiny little 2D kind of thing, like our last one, A Following Wind. So I'm excited because, yeah, you almost never get to put all your skills to the test like that in one moment, in one time, for one thing. It's definitely super exciting. You definitely don't sleep for any of it. So it'll probably end up being like 2 12-hour marathon streams or something like that. So we'd have 48 hours. We'd probably work for 24 of them or something like that. Maybe a little more in my own time. But yeah, it would be crazy. It'd be like, I think it'd be like Friday 3 p.m. till like Sunday 3 p.m. Pacific time. So it's like, yeah, just 48 hours. Not usually positioned in a way that's like super helpful. I guess we'd probably end up doing 3 streams. We'd do one stream from like 3 p.m. till like, I don't know, the evening. Another stream all day Saturday, and then a stream Sunday morning. So it'd be like Friday evening, all day Saturday, Sunday morning. Is that 48 hours? Yeah. It'll be intense, but I only did 2 game jams last year because I really didn't feel like I had time. Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly wanted to do some more, I wanted to practice some digital music production. I wanted to practice how to do that at some point, you know, in the last year. So, but it never happened. So I think we'll end up doing physical music again, like stringed instrument stuff for it, which is fun, but it like gives the game a certain vibe. So I'll probably try to lean into that from like a creative standpoint. Like it worked out. We ended up going from like, okay, I can play like my little like mandolin or something. What are we gonna do? And we ended up being like, oh, what about a game about like little ships, like little sailing ships? And it like I think it ended up tinting the entire endeavor, you know, or you know, directing the entire endeavor along a certain path here. All right, so we have begin, continue, and end. And then where do we actually call this from? Probably here. Because we only want to do this when we are, yeah, so we're doing it in unhandled input. So I want to change a mid interaction to something else. I want to start calling it like pending input. Maybe not pending. Maybe I don't know what the word pending means. Awaiting decision or settlement. until something happens or takes place. So as an adjective, awaiting decision or settlement. That's reasonable for this. I liked a mid. A mid input. We're just going to replace that because this way a mid, this way we can use this for multiple things. So we can say, so if event.isActionPressed interact, we could say if a mid input return, and then now we can just say will this work? Is GDScript okay with single line expressions? I hope it is. I know GDScript pays attention to tabbing and stuff. I honestly don't write Python or anything like that. To do remove requirement for mouse position, replace with independent cursor. All right, so what I do need to do is I need to set up a select. Do I not have a select input already set up? Oh, I do. Select. Oh, we call this select and interact. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense because select is like you're left clicking over stuff and you're bringing it up, and then right click is like actually going to cause things to occur. That's different. So we'll give select priority because it's less likely to cause something bad to happen. Then we need an elif. Do in here as well. This is stupid. Could have written this better, but fine. Oh, and then we need to continue here. So if we're a mid input, oh, I did not write this very well. I guess we actually need separate versions of these. We need to say a mid interaction variable, a mid selection. We actually need separate bools here. This one we're going to rename to a mid selection. Put in a mid selection here. So we're going to say if a mid interaction or a mid selection, then we return. Okay, and then this needs to be, basically I need to copy this over. We say if a mid selection. We say if input is action just released, select. End selection. Oh, I need to change these function names. Begin selection. Wait, why are we doing this twice? Oh, I'm an idiot. These are the same, right? We're just doing this twice? That's dumb. Better. Is there a different way to do this where we like hold the name of the input? So as text, what does that do? Returns a string representation of the event. Yeah, it's probably the whole event. I wonder what that looks like. All right, I think we got this. This is a dumb way to do it, but it should work. Always start with the dumb way to do something. Work your way up to the smart way. All right, I guess there's no real way to see if that worked or not. What we need to do is we need to start adding these cases. So we want to do this. So if we have a selection, we want to pull the coordinates. Towards equals vector3i.parse command.next step. Towards is buffer.aavb.viewabs. Oh, because commands come in view relative and we want absolute. So we want to take this and we want to use this here. So reveal block at. Why do we need to do that? Prior coords, buffer.read write. I don't think that's right. Oh, no, that is right. So if we were hovering or doing any nonsense, we want to reveal the block. What is all of this, though? Why do I have all of this here? Oh, is this actually handling the active block tool setup? It is. Okay. We want to do this. We want to do this. We want to say, I hate doing this. I hate doing switch, I can't speak. I hate doing nested switch statements like this, but sometimes it's just the way to do it right now. Actually, I had someone comment on the YouTube that were like, it was unclear about what particular part of the project they were talking about. You know, it was like a 3-hour stream, but all they said was like, don't do switch statements like that. I'm like, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't do switch statements the way I do them. They're like, you're missing potential behavior. Like, you should have an object. And I'm like, I do agree with you, but I'm trying to move away. I'm trying to not have... I would just build the object, and then the object would have functionality in it, and it would basically be the same. I want the behavior to be on the system, not in the objects. To me, the objects I'm passing into the system are just a list of instructions, or context, or data. I really like having my functionality split from my data objects. Add a default case here. Unrecognized command.select modifier. Yep. I think we're fine as long as we catch these unrecognized commands and not just silently fail. Okay, so this is the part where we... This is the part where we traditionally are setting the form. What I want to know is how do we select a block when we're just clicking into the palette? When we're just clicking into this block palette. It's not using the same path, is it? Because that is going to make this a little harder. Do you have a script? Ready, press.connect, on pressed, input handler dot block pressed, block form, block face. Okay. So let's go to the input handler. Block pressed, game.enqueue input, edit, tool, select. Okay. And you're sending this in a different form. This is a bit of a problem. So we need to be able to handle both. Excuse me. We need to be able to handle both block selection We're gonna be able to handle block selection that's like selecting things on the board versus selecting something up here in the palette. And I need to treat them differently. Maybe we have select from palette or something like that. Maybe we say like select. And we say like, although we shove this coords thing in here immediately, which is not good. So like, we're just sending these arrays of strings because this is how we're like sending data across the boundary between GDScript and C#. It's like the easiest way to do it is just send these commands, command objects. We're sending them across the managed to unmanaged barrier here. And so this is a little different. This is like we're sending the same kind of command. We're selecting a tool, but here we're telling you exactly what block it is. I could reverse this. So like the interaction, you get the coordinates and then you get the instruction. I don't really need to do it that way. I could actually probably flip the way this works. Let me see if I want to do that. So here we grab the coordinates. There isn't really much of a difference there. And in fact, we actually explicitly want to not process coordinates in this case. Maybe we have a new command, a new argument called like palette. Something like that. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Maybe we have a new command called palette instead of select. And select it becomes something different. It's just I want to distinguish the interaction with the UI and the interaction with the board itself. I want to treat those differently. When you're clicking into the UI like this versus you're clicking onto the game board, onto something living on the game board. I want to treat those differently. That's doable. Excuse me. I just need to decide how to think about them. I could call this something else. I could call this like edit tool. We could call it like palette. Or we could call it like brush or something like that. Palette. Yeah, palette seems fine. That seems like a better thing than trying to rewrite the select to handle two different workflows. Here we're just going to say case command.arg.palette. I need to add that to the list of args. I really want these to be verbs mainly, but they aren't. I acknowledge that they're not all verbs. Some of them are like contexts. Palette. And at the moment, the only thing you're going to do with the palette is like pick a brush. But eventually I could see where you can build your own palette, where you could like, maybe you could select something on the board and save it to the palette. And it's like a little modular thing that you want to be able to use elsewhere. Like maybe you come up with like a little pattern that you really like that you want to use for regularity. And so it's just easier to save it to the palette. Oh man, in addition to save load, we're gonna need copy paste, aren't we? Because select move is like by default, it's like cut and paste by default. The select move is. We almost want like a copy version of it, but that's fine. We'll get there. We don't have to have all of it all at once. So palette, so I'm gonna go grab the stuff that I used to have down here and select this stuff. I'm gonna move this up here. Variable form, variable face. Active block tool is a new block. Place block at prior coords. Oh, you also need reveal block at. Diginanigans. Not to scope creep, but what about rotate a specific selection? You're killing me. You're killing me, Diginanigans. No, you're right. We want that, and that should be easy. That should be relatively easy because we can already rotate the entire world. We call it camera rotation, but this is, you know, the kind of camera rotation where it's easier to rotate the whole world than it is to rotate the camera. The camera is just fixed, and you rotate the whole world around the camera. That's kind of what we're doing. So we can do that on a microcosmic world because we're basically rotating everything in a bounding box when we do that. Just the bounding box happens to be the entire world. So we just pick a smaller bounding box and then we rotate that. So that should be easy. But yeah, that's a good point. Because you said you could see selecting a region, copy and pasting it, and wanting to rotate it. Yeah. We're heading down the dangerous road that you never want to be on. And I was talking to someone about this last week. There's this delicate balance when you're developing your own tech where you're like, are you making a tool or are you making a game? And we're like, we're walking this very delicate line between making a tool and making a game. Because at least our tool only needs to work for this one game. The person I was talking to last week was like trying to make a general purpose game engine that they could use for a game and then keep using for other games. Thankfully, that's not our concern. But that's how you end up getting like way sidetracked. We were already spending way too much time on this tilemap editor. Random journey, more scope creep, but will selections need to be contiguous? For now, probably, but I think I see what you mean. Where like you do a select, and then you let go of the select, and then you do like a shift select to add to the selection. Yeah, I think we'll end up doing something like that. Maybe select move isn't by default. Maybe you select something and all it is selected. And maybe it should be, I don't know. I have to decide between copy paste and cut paste and how we want that to work. But yeah, I think you have a good point, Brian and Journey. That having that kind of selection might be helpful. We'll see how doable that is right out the gate, but I think that's a good point. I think that's something we'll eventually want. Okay, so we're gonna re-implement the palette stuff, and we're gonna just see and make sure that didn't break. Why is this game.input.change bounds new ABB prior bounds? I shouldn't need to have that here. I mean, I do need to have that here now. But I should only ever have to do that in a place where we've set the prior coords. Huh. Okay. So this is going to be where we do the select stuff. We've moved the palette, specifically the palette selection stuff. Here, palette picking. Maybe it should be pick. Whatever. When we expand the palette tool to be like save. I don't know. Like save my selection as a palette or whatever, pick a palette or I don't know. Color picker. I don't know. Because I guess that's actually different. We're talking about different things. Like you could have a color picker kind of thing where you're like, I want to pick this thing and then put it somewhere else versus select and move, which is like grab this thing and physically move it. You know, why don't I just add a whole 2D editor inside tilemap editor? Then I could just draw the tiles for the tile map inside the game. No, we're not going to end up recreating a sprite inside this game. Don't tempt me. I will do it. If pestered enough. All right, did I do what I needed to do for this basic, for this very, very basic refactor? That's just a prelude to the real one here. So now when you do this, you go tool, edit tool, palette, block form, spring, block face. Okay. Okie doke. I think we do have it here. Oh man, I think I'm out of trail mix. Supposed to get some at the store yesterday. I'm like thinking about my post-stream snack already. So now if we pick a new thing on the palette, it seems to be, oh no, that's fine. That was just a consequence of the way I drew it. Okay. So the new palette picker works. So we can safely leave that there. Come down here to the select. Oh, it's everyone's favorite time of the stream. We have a spam bot to ban. All right, load the photon torpedo tubes and fire when ready. In 3, 2, 1. Get out of here. Oh, that's too much fun. I have too much fun with that. So this is where we're going to develop our awesome, almost like a rebasing technology where like we can move the contents of this tilemap buffer somewhere else within the buffer. And I think that's going to be the basis of our process for the kind of the elastic dynamic sizing thing that we're talking about doing. I think this is like our first experiment into doing that. I think I can get rid of this to do now. Straight works. Do I need this enclosure check? We could just run this, right? Reveal inactive blocks. Get non-overlapping. You do your own enclosure check, right? Other dot encloses this, return list. And the list is just an empty list. Oh. Yeah, we can just do that. We don't need this, I think I should go back to like getting the span at the top and then just passing it around as it's needed. Because we're getting these spans multiple times. Like both of these functions grabs the span. And it actually takes the same parameters. This should probably just become one function. Call it like replace active blocks or something. And it like adds new active blocks and reveals old active blocks. Or inactive blocks. I don't know. This is kind of nice though. Place new active blocks, reveal inactive blocks. Functions are very similar though. I don't know. All right, so beginning a selection is easy. I actually need to change how this works to an extent. Like, I want to see how this works. Debug.writeLine. Begin. I want to try to make a single frame placement, and I want to see what happens. Debug.writeLine. Continue. Debug.writeLine end. I want to see what this looks like. Actually, I don't want to run it here. Actually, I can. Be fine. Oh, that works? Huh. Begin end. Begin end. Oh, that just works. For some reason, I thought that wasn't going to work. Because all we're doing is recording the anchor chords and setting the prior bounds. And the block that we're placing is just the hover block, but like Man, we could fix, I'm gonna go through and clean up a lot of this. This looks horrible. There are times when I feel like maybe I have too much syntax highlighting. It's very dense and I'm like, I can't read this. Okay, so that's weird. So we can skip continue. That's fascinating. I didn't think we could do that. Technically, the change bounds thing wouldn't work, but I don't actually think I use this for anything. Okay, that's cool. Then if that works, we're just going to keep doing the same thing here. Hey, Dyson Slice 8, how do you hide and unhide comments in the code? Huh. I don't know if you can do that. This is JetBrains Writer. You can do it. So I don't think you can do the dash or the double backslash whatever. But if you do this one, this is a comment. I think this one you can. Oh no, you can't. Can you only comment or hide multi-line comments? This is a comment. Yeah, so multi-line comments you can hide using this kind of pattern. Oops. JetBrains will let you collapse that into a single line. But I don't know if you can hide this kind of comment, this pattern. But anyway, welcome in. I'm not the biggest expert with this IDE. We've only been using it for a few months. You did it in college with Visual Basic. You forgot. Perhaps that's how you did it. Yeah, I know that this is pretty general. That if you do the multi-line comment thing like this, it's pretty easy to do. I don't like the way that this is formatted. I would normally not have that there, and I would not do it like this. I would do it like that. The AI was like, I know better. This is a comment that we're making really long to see how much will be rendered collapsed. This is a comment that, okay, so it'll read out at least like one line of the comment. Cool. But how's it going? Welcome in. We're working on kind of an isometric 3D version of FTL faster than light. We're using Godot. We're kind of mixing and matching the C# GD script, Godot editor, JetBrains Writer, kind of crossing domains there. So we're doing a little bit of both. We're working on a tilemap editor tool that we have. We're adding in a little select move. You're working on C#. Looks great. Thanks for the welcome. Thanks. Yeah, we ended up doing expanding the game into the C# side because I wanted a simulation layer. I wanted like a separate simulation layer that like wasn't backed by like nodes and resources and stuff in like the Godot scene tree. So I ended up kind of creating this separate world, which this one game script is kind of the gateway for. It's like the one node in our C# solution. And it's kind of our global class. It's our window between the two worlds. And in the C# world, we've made our own little entity component system. We've got some of our simulation stuff like offloaded on different threads. So we've kind of decided we wanted to separate the simulation layer entirely from the rendering and the UI layer. And so it kind of gave birth to this little C# domain that we've got here. But that's cool. You're also doing C#. That's probably why you popped in, I would imagine. You saw that. What kind of stuff are you working on? If you want to share. If you don't want to share, that's fine. I try to create a nice, like, co-working, like, a co-lurking space. Ooh, I like that. Who, does anyone else say that? Co-lurking? You're working on Unity? Cool. I spent a long time in Unity. I spent probably about 15 years working, doing hobbyist game stuff in Unity. And then I dropped it a year and a half ago or so, picked up Godot. As a solo developer, I'm just like very pleased with the workflow. And for 2D, for native 2D, I don't think you can really do better than Godot. With its, since like one point in like the transform system is like 1 pixel on the screen. Like it's just pixel perfect rendering and transforms and physics and stuff. So I love it, but yeah, that's cool. There's good stuff in Unity. When I stopped using Unity, I had been doing a lot of stuff with their data-oriented tech stack and their own entity component system, which was part of the data-oriented tech stack. And I liked it. It's kind of part of the reason why we ended up making our own entity component system here in C#, was my experience using Unity's dots, ECS. That's cool. Oh, thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy just kind of coding along with us here. I'd love to hear, like, you know, any cool games that you're working on in Unity. You don't have to tell me if they're top secret. If you want to share stuff, we also have a Discord full of, well, filling up with game developers that share the stuff that they're working on. You know, ask questions, hang out. Cool. No pressure. Giving you the spiel. Appreciate you spending part of your day here hanging out with us. Whatever level you want to engage at. Cool with me. All right, so we've got our beginning and end, which we're just going to do the exact same way as the placement. And then the continue here, this is kind of the tricky part. So what we're doing here, we're not actually placing anything down. What we need to do here, so we basically need to do the same kind of workflow, but instead of block placement, we need to build out a new concept of the active block tool. So instead of the active block tool being a block, it needs to be like, ooh, what is it going to be? Oh, it could be an AABB. Could it? Could it be like something like an AABB? I mean, we could make a block tool. Huh. Because really all we're doing with this is we're pinpointing an AABB inside the buffer that we either want to move or copy. Cool. So we could do that. We need to make it cross-compatible with the palette tool, though, to an extent. Actually, no, we don't. We do not. We can have a private AABB. We can call it the active selection. We can make it distinct from the block tool. Eventually, I would like them to be the same, but that would mean we'd need to have like a buffer. So we need to do the thing that you see a lot. You'll see this if you watch John Blow work on their Sokoban game. They'll have like a game scene that's like all of the entities in the game like laid out in the editor, like in the world, just like we kind of need like an equivalent of that, so I can reference I can reference a point in that. It's almost like an object or an entity palette or something. and you can reference an entity in that and say, this is what I want to use. It's like index based, like an object palette kind of thing. That could work. That could work. Okay, so this active blocks, hidden blocks thing, we don't exactly need to do anything with. Dice and Slice, you learned Unreal. You started to learn Godot. You ended up choosing Unity, continue learning. You picked up a bunch of books. You have about 8 years plus Blender 3D modeling. You've been just freelancing for games. Cool. That's awesome that you've got all that Blender 3D modeling experience. Part of the reason why I went with pixel art is it was easier to pick up for me, and I enjoy it. I enjoy working in this in pixel art. I don't know if I could do Blender. I had to do a little bit of it for a jam game here and there, but it was more like modifying stuff. I've been looking a lot more at Blockbench. Blockbench seems cool as a basic 3D editor. So we're kind of going to need place to know if... Oh. This is getting more complicated. But that's fine. Maybe I need to diagram out a little bit more of the interface, a little bit more of the UI experience of like picking a tile from a palette versus like grabbing a selection and like dragging it around somewhere. Maybe I need to think about that flow more. But so far, if we just want to select stuff, what we could do is we can just basically keep track of the bounds. We just do that overlaps. If bounds.overlaps buffer.aabb, yeah, okay, we do want to do that. AABB bounds equals new vector3i min. Is this... I have a function here that I call expand. I think it's actually just resize. Expand coords new vector3i.min coords minimum vector3i.max coords maximum. Yeah, so expand can actually... This needs to change. Oops. This needs to be renamed more like resize. And then now let's move it down to where it probably should go. Dice and Slice, yes, pixel art is good. Blender can transform 3D objects into pixel format imagery. Oh, that's really cool. Like a Dead Cells style. Like you take your 3D objects and you turn them into like 2D sprites. Oh wait, what? What? I already have a resize function. What does this one do? Other.minimum is less than minimum. Oh, this is one that takes another AABB. Oh. Okay. Why would I not just do it exactly the same way? It should be like return new AABB. It should be like vector3i.minimum other.minimum. Or wait, vector3i.min other.minimum. Oh, we're snoozing the ads because we're probably going to wrap up. Should it not just be this? You just take the minimum between the other's minimum and our minimum. Why did I write it this way? Then vector 3i dot max other dot maximum. Kind of weird. Kind of weird why I did it this way. I don't totally understand. Just say new. Okay, so now I have two different resize functions. One takes an AABB, the other takes coordinates. That should be cool. Yeah, that's cool. I think if I was better at 3D stuff, I would do that. That's definitely the economical way to make pixel art. That's really cool. It's really cool hearing about your work here. All right, I need to wrap up. We're gonna raid into Two Nerdy Nerds. We're gonna pick this up tomorrow. I think we're in a good spot, except that I'm getting a compiler error. Need another parenthesis. Yeah, you can do it. Takes time, but definitely can learn it. Oh, for sure. Yeah, my partner is really experienced. They're like a traditional artist, but they know a lot of digital tools, and they've tried to teach me. And I think they're having a hard enough time just teaching me how to do pixel art. Because I approach pixel art the way a programmer would. Like, I'm very rules focused and procedural and weird. But, you know, I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying pixel art a lot more than I thought I would. Which is good, because I have a lot of it that I need to make. Diginanigans, you've been playing some Octopath Traveler recently. Been inspired by that art style. Oh yeah, they do what they call the maximalist. The maximalist approach to pixel art. Where like they do the traditional art, and then they also do tons of post-processing. And actually I think they have a 3D environment as well. I think the environment is actually 3D, if I'm not wrong. Thank you, Dyson Slice. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to, I would love to see some of the stuff that you make. You sound like a really experienced artist. I'm going to spam the Discord again for everyone who's in the chat hanging out. But yeah, we have an open community of game developers and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to see you all again. We got to raid out because I have a work meeting and I need to grab some lunch right before my meeting. So I'm out of time. But this has been good. I'm really appreciating easing back into the streaming schedule this week. I appreciate everyone hanging out here. I know we're kind of just chilling. Like, our energy level's been a little low recently, last few weeks. But, you know, slow and steady. Games aren't built in a day. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate you all, and I will see you next time.